All right, welcome back. It's been a crazy time over here. We have been away. I don't know what order some of these videos are going to come out in, but we were on a road trip. You might have saw some of you guys that came over from Austin. Might have seen some of his videos. Anyways, the charger is really close. We are just about done with it. However, this video is not going to be about the charger. This video is about my truck. I wanted to have the charger done and out, but I have a deadline. Actually, tomorrow there is a car show. My good friend Demetrius, who runs Five Lugs, I will tag it somewhere, is having a car show here locally. And it's the one car show he does a year. He did it last year. It was a really good car show. Had a really wide array of people. The different kind of cars. We had lowriders, hot rods, all kinds of stuff. A lot of kids and families, and it was a really good time. But past that, Demetrius has been a really good friend to me. You're one of those guys that if you need him is always going to be there. I only got a couple of those. I know a lot of people, but I only have a few diehard people. And a little story time. I was the very first year that we took my Torino on power tour. We finished the build, as hot rodders do, procrastinate. Finished the build. We did a motor, transmission, EFI, and a new radiator, a new charging system, basically everything except for the differential and brakes. Finished it at 4 a.m., left at 6 a.m. to drive to Bowling Green, Kentucky. It's about 6 hours. It took 13 and a half hours to get there. We broke down, I don't know how many times. And on Cincinnati, the charging system caught itself on fire and burned all the wiring. I had to rewire it in a parking lot of an AutoZone. I had to buy a new alternator. I think it was missing a ground wire when I wired it the first time. I can't remember. I don't know. Anyways, did that. We had overheating problems. Ended up having issues with that. And then in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky, we broke a pedestal for the roller rocker on the cylinder head. It was a crane cams part that was not available just off the shelf anywhere. Craziness of that one is that I made a post in the Power Tour page, and there was a guy who said, Robert was his name, if Robert's watching, hey, still appreciate that. He said, I'm just down the street a couple miles, and I have a few of these laying on my workbench. I'll be down in a few. And he did. He brought him and his dad came down and fixed me right up, gave me a spare, which I ended up needing a couple days later. I had broke another one. I think the previous owner, I had put the motor in the car as a long block and I had not messed with it. I think the previous owner of the motor had put in a couple of them upside down, rounded side down instead of rounded side up. I'm guessing what happened. They were broke when I took them out, so it's hard to tell. I haven't had any problems since, but anyways, the 13 and a half hour trip, multiple breakdowns, multiple times I told Demetrius to go ahead, just leave me and I'd figure it out. Even when that the lifter, the rocker stand broke, I called Haggerty because I didn't think it was going to get fixed. I thought we were down. I thought we were done for the week, and we hadn't even got there yet. I called Haggerty. We were waiting on a tow truck, and Demetrius refused to leave until I was either in Bowling Green or on a tow truck heading home. And so long story short, that's why we're doing this truck. We're gonna do a thrash. The truck is running and driving. That's not a problem. It's got aesthetic issues to finish on the build. I got stripes to put here. I've got body side moldings to put there. I've got a door panel. I did work on this last night. I finished I have to adjust this door too. You heard it pop. I finished wiring the radio in. No, a radio is not important for a car show. However, I had a bunch of panels off on the interior. And I didn't want to put them back on until I finished running the wires that needed to be ran. So I finished that last night off a camera because, as I'm sure you've heard multiple YouTubers say, wiring does not make for good video. So the radio's finished, the door panel, or most of the interior is back in it, except for that one door panel. I've got to assemble the door panel because it's in multiple pieces, and I've got some replacement parts, and so we'll do all that. I've got a mirror to put on the other side. I'm switching to these small sport mirrors. I have bought, we'll go over here. I have to glue this back on. I bought these fancy clear marker lights because on these Bricknoses, they're bright orange and I always hated them. I bought these and it took forever. They were a special order and they took forever to get. And then both of them have come apart before I even took this thing anywhere. The plastic print themselves seems good, but the glue they put them together with was horrible. So anyways, I got to glue those back together. I bought a set of these that I have found nobody makes these factory mirrors that are quality. This one is loose. I wanted black. This truck's got, these are aluminum, not billet, but they're black powder coated. The wheels have the Bronco, those are the Bronco center caps, not the F150, because the Bronco ones are black. The stripe that was on this from the factory was this color, and then a tan and this color. I switched it to the black. The windows are going to get tinted. I've been messing around with it. Every couple years, I think I'm going to tint some windows, and then I buy some, and I try to do it, and I realize that I suck at it, and I should not be tinting windows. So that's why there's like 2 windows tinted on this thing. I'm going to undo it and take it and have it done. I'm going to have ceramic put on it. Anyways, back to the mirrors. I can't get good mirrors. Nobody makes these mirrors that stick. Those little sport mirrors, I think, look better with a lowered truck anyways. So I'm going to switch that one on this side. And I've got a coil spring that needs to be cut on this side. This thing has got a DJM bars on it and progressive rate springs. I called DJM to find out what might be the issue as to why. It's got the adjustable camber for the kingpins, but I couldn't get enough out of it to get it aligned right. And I called and I talked to the old man that works there, and he said that they have to do that. They have to cut a spring on every one of them, and that the springs that I use are actually his personal favorite. They're a progressive rate spring. So I didn't do anything wrong. It's actually the setup that he prefers. I have to cut that side. For some reason, this side doesn't need cut. It's fine. This side of the truck has always had a sag to it. I don't know why. I've never had it on a frame rack. There's a chance it may be tweaked. I don't know. I do have bushings, cab bushings and core sport bushings for this thing. At some point, I'll get around to putting them on. This truck was a 2-wheel drive. It is a 2-wheel drive. It was it sat up way high at 235 75 15s. It was just a runaround truck. It was a really, really clean truck when we got it many years ago. I've had this vehicle longer than anything else I've ever owned, which is funny because I hated this truck for a long time. I'm not a big fan of, I call it turd brown. But my dad gave it to me, and it's got a C6 and a straight 6, or C6 and a straight 6. I said that right. It's going to get the AOD out of my Torino, I think, at some point. But it's super reliable. It starts every single time. It's the only thing I've ever owned that if there's juice in the battery, it's going to start. And for the longest time, even though I hated the color, it was reliable and it wasn't worth anything. Now these Bricknoses have started to go up in value a little bit, so it's worth a little bit now. And now I've had it so long that it's kind of got a sentimental. I kind of fell for it a little bit, and the brown kind of makes it what it is. It makes it this special thing. So when I did this truck, I replaced this fender and both doors. This is actually done with Spray Max spray paint, and made to look like, so like this is the original color. This has not been painted. This has not been painted. This has not been painted. This had been painted previously, and it was a shade off and shiny, and it was also starting to peel. So this has been repainted, and then my attempt at making it match the roof, that's factory. That's not messed with. So this was trying to make it match that. I didn't put enough white down, I think, because I didn't want the gray to show through. I probably sanded a little too much on it. My plan was to have, you know, kind of here to here be white like that up there. I could probably, if I went back and did it again, I could probably make it match. But this was a project where this was before my son was born, my youngest son. I was like, well, I found they had a sale on these DGMs, and this truck had been sitting unused, basically abandoned. The transmission was out of it, and I said, well, let me throw a tranny in it, lower it, you know, go through it and make sure it's good, and you know, put it in use. I can run around town in it and stuff. I had a month, I think, before my boy was born. He's a little over 3. So this project's, to be fair, I when he was born, everything stopped for a while, so I haven't been working on it for that long. It was a project that got 90% of the way there and then kind of stopped. At some point we'll have it on the lift and I'll show you. It's got all new brakes, all new springs, all new DGM bars. It's got lowering blocks in the rear. It's got new U-joints. It's got a transmission that was put in it. I took the pan off and did an oil pump and pan gasket, front cover seal, I think I did. Anyways, I've also bought everything to do on the front of the engine. AC compressor, alternator, I'm going to convert it to 130 amp, water pump, clutch fan, everything on the front of the motor. It's been sitting a long time, and it has 140,000 miles on it or something. So the plan for this is not to be a hot rod. I've been tempted to put a hot rod motor in this thing many times because I fall into the trap where I make everything I own a hot rod, and then I don't have anything to drive. I either make it so nice that I don't want to drive it anywhere, I make it so rowdy that it's not practical to drive anywhere. Something, you know, typical car guy. I need a daily, and now I need a new daily to replace my daily, and now I need a new daily to replace my daily that replace my daily. Yeah, that type of thing. So it's staying a C6. The goal is to make it mechanically 100%. The AC hasn't worked in it in many years. So I've got the major components of the air conditioning to replace. It's still charged. It just doesn't turn on. So I believe the compressor's shot. I got a compressor, dryer, receiver, and whatnot. We're going to go through that, make the air conditioning work. Heat works great. Everything else runs. It runs great. It doesn't leak. Power steering leaks. If I start it up right now, you'll hear that it's whining. It's because I stopped putting fluid in it because it had to sit outside and it kept leaking on my white pavement driveway. And in the individual video or in one of my reels, you might hear my wife talk about that this is not her favorite vehicle. She doesn't think it looks that good. It's brown. I get it. But also it kept leaking on her driveway. So yeah. We got to fix that. That's probably a today thing. I probably won't get to doing the alternator and water pump and all the other things on the front of the motor because it runs and drives just fine, and it can make it to the other side of town for the car show, so I can support my friend. But I do need to get. I've got a bottle to put back in. I got a little miscellaneous hardware in here. This is a bracket that makes the tailgate slow low. You open it, it slowly lowers it. From JC Fabrications, I think, is it? JRC, JC, I don't know. I'll find the link and I'll put it in the description. I've got a couple pieces of weather strip to put on. I've got a set of these old school vent guards that were on the truck forever and ever and ever that I have painted. Anyways, that's like that. But anyways, I got a set over there on the dash that are painted black to match the aesthetic. They're kind of grandpa trucky, I think, but I like them. They were pretty handy. You could roll around in the rain with the windows down a half an inch, and it was nice. And let's be honest, even though I lowered it and put 20s on it, it's still not the sportiest of looking trucks. So I did the bumper on this truck. I did a front balance that is modified off of a 2020 F150. It's peeling, so I'm gonna try to do something with that today. Knock the peeling off of it and spray paint it as a temporary. I'm not really sure yet. The bumper itself was chrome. The plan was never to paint the bumper black. These bumpers are from 89 and 89, let's see, 88 and 89 or 89 and 90, I forget. And so it's a 2-year only bumper. They're like $700 by the time you get done buying stuff from LKQ. And finding, and part of the reason they're so expensive is they bend really easy. If you have one of these trucks, don't push anybody with it. You think, oh, it's a Bricknose, it's nice and flat, you can push somebody. No, don't do it. It will bend a bumper. That's why mine was bent. It took me forever and ever and ever to find one that wasn't bent, used. I drove like an hour and a half to pick that one up. It was like $50. It was looked kind of crappy, but I thought it would clean up. And I went to clean it up. I realized the chrome was in pretty poor shape. So I roughed it up and painted it, and it's not, the paint's not staying on it terribly well. I'm not shocked, but it's spray paint. It's not the biggest deal to just touch it up once in a while. And if I ever really feel motivated, I can get a bumper for it. The steel bumpers, the painted bumpers, actually aren't that expensive. They're fairly expensive, but compared to the chrome ones, they're not that bad. And had I known I was going to paint it, I probably would have just bought one of those. So at some point, I might buy the painted bumper and switch it out. Although to make that balance to where I knew it wasn't going to come off and go under my tires as I'm driving, there's a fair amount of bracketry and stuff underneath there. So it would be a little bit of an operation to switch that thing out. So we'll see how it goes. Again, I'm not trying to make a show truck. The idea was to lower it and make it run around, like a shop truck. This was before I ever had a channel that I did this thing. So I will probably put the logos on the doors. I want to have somebody paint it, paint some the Octane Eagle logo, the word logo on the doors, and but I want it to be weathered and not look fresh. So there's a lot of really good in Columbus, Ohio. There is a lot of really good hot rod builders. I don't know of any good airbrush, artistic kind of guys. There's the House of Pearls. It's not too far from me. Some of you guys that are over from Austin, I'm sure, are also aware of the Street Racing Channel. They're the ones that have done a lot of Bill's. All those guys, a lot of their cars. He's a very talented painter. He actually painted Demetrius's car, which you'll see in this video, because part of this video will also be going to the car show. He has a Nismo orange Oldsmobile Cutlass that's really pretty. So yeah, House of Pearls, they're really good, but to my knowledge, they don't do any artistic airbrush stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. I've got my large window stickers that I might put on the back window of this thing, or I might temporarily put it on the door. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, I've talked long enough. Let's get on this thing. There's not a ton to do to get ready, but there's enough that needs to be done that I can't just take it the way it is. I got a piece of trim in the dash, door panel, and a bunch of stuff around the outside of the truck that we need to get on. So, and then put a power steering pump on it so that I can have power steering but not leak it everywhere. So anyways, enough talking. Let's get at it. All right. So first thing we're gonna do, I think we're gonna finish up inside. I would like to hopefully get to the point where I can shampoo this carpet and or put an ion machine in here. It's not stinky from, any animals or anything like that. It's just kind of got a funk from just being sealed up for so long. It's been many years since this has been used much. So I'd like to put the ion machine in it and shampoo the carpet. The carpet is dirty. So, but anyways, back to what I was saying. I'm going to adjust this door, get the door panel on, finish cleaning out the junk out of it. And somewhere I have the trim for the front of that. I got to find that. It was laying on that desk or that shelf over there for the longest time, and now that I'm ready to put it on, it's missing. So that seems about right. So, I do want to say, I've got Kicker 6x9s that my friends over at Kicker holler out to Kicker, and it's got Kicker doors, 4 inches. They sound really good. I have a 10-inch powered sub that I had bought for this, and I ended up putting it in the Torino, and it's a lot for the Torino. I've got to go through and fix a lot of rattles. Turns out a 1968 Torino is not really designed to have bass in the back of, so I'm going to have to do some work on that. But my thought process was that that 10-inch sub was probably going to be too much for the inside of this cab because I'm not a bass head. You have to forgive my voice. I'm a little bit sick. It's a joy of having little kids. You're sick about more times than you're not. Anyways, but yeah, it's got Kicker stuff in it. It sounds pretty good. It's got I finally, after going through about 4 or 5 junk, literally the cheapest Bluetooth stereo that I could buy off of Amazon, I finally ponied up for a halfway decent Alpine unit. And like I said, I've got my Kicker subs that my friends helped me get so that I could have some good sounds. My wife doesn't particularly care for me to have the boys ride in something that doesn't have airbags. And that's one of those policies that it's not worth arguing over. So anyways, my boys don't ride in any of my hot rods until they get a little bigger. So when I'm using this truck, it's going to be running errands, running to the hardware store, something that this thing should get. I mean, straight six doesn't get terribly great gas mileage, but compared to my Super Duty, it gets pretty good gas mileage. So anyways, I wanted to be able to jam out, turn on the music that's not Mickey Mouse or Paw Patrol or whatever it is. So I put a good stereo in it. So anyways, let's get, I want to get the door adjusted because it's not, when I change this door, the gaps are not, it's a little tight down there, it needs to come up a little bit. So I'm going to put the time lapse on, and we're going to adjust this door and then get the door panel dug out and get it put on. Like I said, I did put some sound deadening in the door, and these are the new billet handles, because if you've ever had an F150 like this generation, these break. They were plastic, especially as they get older. So it's got so we've done some good stuff on it. I've got new door handles, I think, new window cranks, I think. This is one of those I've been buying parts. Bought a lot of parts then, buy parts randomly, and all my vehicles are like that. They're kind of full of parts, and upstairs is full of parts. So, buying the parts, figuring out what parts is kind of my fun thing, is to research. I think that's a car guy thing, is to do the research and figure out what parts are the best parts you want to use. So that's the easy part to do. One of the reasons I started this channel is to force myself out here to start getting some of this done. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, The door gap here is pretty good. The door gap here isn't. So I'm actually going to probably have to move the fender a little bit. The whole time I thought it was the door. This needs to go in. This is too big. So that needs to go in. Which means the door is probably got to go in too. This gap here is a little big. So I'm going to move the door in, move the fender in, and move the fender this way and out. Setting gaps is always the worst part of bodywork for me. So this is actually just a gasket scraper. It's nice and thin, and then it's actually just got like a printer label stuck over it. Painter's tape would work too. I just happen to see this printer label real quick. But it's going to pry. Use something like this. It's going to pry on the widest part of that paint. It'll put the pressure, spread it over the most area, I should say. And then the tape or paper will hopefully keep it from doing as little damage as possible. So I'm going to try to pry on this a little bit and see if we can get. All right, down here trying to get this fender lined up, and I got to looking that my sticker's not working too well. That's probably why I used painter's tape. If I pry this out, it fits a whole lot better, which tells me, as I've got some slop right here, I don't know if you can see it moving, but it tells me that I need to put some spacers behind this fender. It's a pretty common thing in body to have to put spacers there. I don't have body spacers. I could go get them. It's not really worth my time. I only need a couple. So what I did was I grabbed a stack of washers, took it to my bandsaw, and I just cut a V out of them. I don't know how many of these I'm going to need, probably a couple of them, but these should work just fine. They have a zinc coating on them. Realistically, they're going to last as long as the truck. So I'm going to start with 3, I think. If I can get them up in there. I probably should have ground the cut slag off of them a little better. It'd probably go in there a little easier. I need to loosen it a little bit more. This bolt is a little, oh, you know what? I was supposed to get a battery. Oh, I'm already cut. That's great. You know, that's something from when I used to turn wrenches full time that I don't miss. I don't miss having major wounds on my hands at all times. Those of you that still turn wrenches for a living, I'm sure you're nodding your heads right now. Because it doesn't matter how good you are. You still ended up with busted knuckles. So I don't miss that part. That's for sure. I don't know if I've said that on here, but I don't turn wrenches for a living anymore. So well, I can get 1. I can get 2. I thought I was going to be slick and slide them all on there at the same time. But there we go. That 3 looks about perfect, actually. I might get 1 more in there. Let me see if I can get 1 more. 1 more might make it perfect. It's a slippery slope when you start to hit perfection, because then you start trying to get it everywhere else. And let's be honest, this truck's not going to see it. This truck's day for perfection's done. So I don't ever want to get to that point. I don't ever plan on restoring it or whatever. So she's fun. She's reliable. But I definitely don't ever plan on tearing it down for a frame off. That's for sure. Although, to be fair, I put gas tanks in it with the bed off of it a year or two ago. And one of the things we did, again, pretty much everything underneath the truck's brand new. And I did sand down and paint the frame rails back there. So as you've kind of seen with my adventures with Austin, I have a hard time just leaving things be. I came really close to naming my YouTube channel the Snowball Garage, because everything I touch snowballs. But as an Eagle Scout and fairly patriotic, I thought Octane Eagle was more fitting. So, all right, I like that. That's pretty dang good. Let me pick you up here. Is the gap perfect? No. It could probably use a little bit more tweaking, but I'm going to be honest with you. For what it is, that's good. I'm leaving it be. It's pretty flush. The door's not going to hit, and the door's going to open and close, and I can move on to the next thing. I've only got a couple hours tomorrow, and I've got as long as I'm willing to not sleep today to get this done. So the door to fender is good. Like I said, it's still a little large at the top, but anything else I'm going to do is going to be a whole lot more work. So I closed this hood, and that's a little tight. Actually, I already loosened it and got a little bit out of it. It's a little loose on this side, but it's lined up with the back there pretty well. So I don't want to move the hood too far. I'm probably going to move the hood that way just a little bit, probably just by flexing the foot hinges just a little bit. I loosened these bolts here. This fender isn't like a standard fender where there's a row of bolts and you can just loosen it and move it over. This has got a frame built into it, and it's kind of the whole side of the truck there. So it's not as easy to move. I'm going to get what I can get out of it, and we're going to call it a day. Because again, it's a patina truck, and I'm not trying to make a show truck. So let me see if I can get anything out of this. All right, so getting the stripes hung up here, just making sure that I got long enough. They come in a kind of a funky roll where they're all taped together, and I got to split them and everything else. So this piece is long enough to do the front half of the truck, and that's for the bed. I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing it the same way. I don't have to do it the way the factory did. I just have to do it the same way as the other side. So looks like I did it 1/4 of an inch down. It looks like there's what I was talking about before with it not lining up. I think I might have enough stripe. I don't know if I have enough stripe to do the whole door, but I have enough at least to fix it. So fix the front half and merge it or something. We'll see. But yeah, trying to get this stripe laid down. I've got new moldings up on the shelf. I'll get those down next, and we'll get those stuck on, and it'll actually start to look like a truck. Or, you know, it looks like a truck now, but less of a crappy truck. So. All right, through the magic of editing, I changed clothes. No, actually, I had to take a little break. Still the same day, but I had to take a break. I had to take my kids to go see Gravedigger was in town, so daddy duty. Did that, and now we're back. It's the evening, but before I rolled out, we did get the moldings on. They look pretty good. They are from, I believe that was LMC that I ordered those from. They look pretty good. They're not exact factory look, but they are pretty close. Stripes on, it's pretty good. It's a little low in one spot that I'm a little out of touch. I used to be really good at laying stripes, and I haven't done it in so long. I'm not quite as good as I used to be. So, but that's good. I'm going to I bought some glue while I was out. The other thing was I had to go get get license plates for this thing. It's been off the road so long that I didn't have any plates for it. So it's legal. I can drive it to the car show legally now. So that was the other thing I had to do. So anyways, while I was out, I got some glue. I'm going to glue these marker light lenses and molding back on so that can be drying overnight. And then I'm going to tackle the bottle and a couple of things that's under the hood needs to be done. We'll see. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to try to tackle that power steering pump yet. It does work. It just has a slow leak. I might very well just not park it in the driveway until I get it fixed here shortly. I'm going to tear, like I said, I'm going to tear the whole front of that motor off and replace pretty much everything. So we'll see how that goes. It depends on how long it takes. I've been a little bit sick the last few days, and to be honest, I really don't want to be out here right now. So we'll see how long I can muster. So all right, let me get the glue. We'll get these glued up and taped on, and then we'll move on to something else. All right, so it's the next day. I'm a bad YouTuber. I got kind of busy working away. I was feeling real bad, and got working and just didn't pick up the camera. Last night I got the stripes. I don't remember where I left off last. So stripes, moldings, put the mirror on. Had to glue the rubber weather strip in. The other side stuck. This side would not stick. So it's just one bad one. So I glued this one in. The marker lights are in. They are good. I still need to adjust. Clearly it's not adjusted correctly. I need to adjust the headlights yet. But I don't plan on using those today, so it'll be fine. Again, this thing has to come in and have a lot more stuff done to it. I'll probably have another couple episodes on this thing, mixed in with other stuff. Anyways, I found last night that I had no running lights, no turn signals, and no brake lights. But our headlights worked. And that's kind of where I kind of got off onto a tangent. Not tangent. That's kind of where I got off working and kind of stopped recording. I found that, so these actually look like, I'll turn them on. They look like regular taillights. I spent a lot of time. One of the things I like about hot rodding, and I'm sure I'm not alone, is picking parts. Nitpicking every little part and trying to figure out the best part that I want. So these are, as you see, they looked stock, but when you turn them on, they have an LED inside them. That C turns into a square that's much brighter when you step on the brakes. So anyways, I had the LED plug. It's a socket, light bulb socket that plugs in. It was plugged in. They were incorrectly polarity wise. And then the turn signal, I bought an LED flasher, and it apparently if you buy it from like Union Pacific or Summit that sells Union Pacific, it comes with a polarity changer. That's a little adapter. For some reason, I ordered it from Amazon and got one with Chinese writing all over it, and it didn't come with the adapter. So I couldn't figure out why the turn signals work, and after doing some reading about the name brand one coming with that adapter, I decided to use extension wires and switch the polarity on it, and that fixed it. So now I have turn signals, park lights, and all that. So everything works. We're legal. I wasted 4 hours yesterday getting plates for this. Funny thing is, I actually put historical tags on it, but I'm running the 1989 plate. So I got home and then I didn't have to put any plates on, didn't have to put a sticker on or anything. It's exactly the same as it was when I left the house 4 hours previously. But now when the cop runs it in the computer, I won't get pulled over. So, called this morning, got insurance on it. So we have a front bumper to do something about, and a door panel to put on, and then wash it. We've got a couple hours till the show, so I think we're doing just fine. If I get a chance, I'm going to jack it up, and I'm going to try to cut a wrap off that driver's side coil as well. But I'm the kind of person that I'm going to try to cut a coil off real quick and end up causing it to where I can't drive it. So I'm a little leery about that, to be honest. So theoretically, it should be a quick, simple thing, but anyways. So I'm going to put this thing down, and I think we're going to jump on getting the door panel put on it, because I've got to change, if I can find the armrest pad that I bought for it. I already put one on the driver's side. I've got one for the passenger side. I've got to put it on, and then we'll get the door panel put on. And then I'll try to figure out something about this bumper. I'm going to have to do some sanding and everything else, so that can turn into a whole mess. I did buy paint for it yesterday. While I was waiting and waiting and waiting at the BMV, I don't know where I said it, but anyways, there was a Tractor Supply in front of the BMV, so I went up and got some tractor paint. I thought maybe that would hold up a little better. So we're getting ready to put this back together. These trucks, this one is a Lariat version, so you got to put the lower carpet on first. Hopefully I have enough of the screws laying here. This thing's been apart long enough that it's a little less fun to do. This one just screws right to the door. It's just these self-tapping Phillips bits. Probably have to drill a couple holes because this is a new door, but it looks like maybe this one had carpet too. So. Oh, is there? I meant to order a new box with this type of screws, and I didn't get it. As you'll see in just a second, I did order the fasteners, the door panel. I broke most of them taking it apart. I like to use a self-tap method. There's a self-hammer. It's weird. Some of these had a couple of the screw holes were here, but not all of them. Now, let me get over to grab the door panel. Okay, as I've said, I replaced they don't make these in, actually they do make these in tan, but they were multiples more money than these. And I'll be honest with you, this truck gets used are used to get used a lot doing work, and I assume that I'm probably going to be going to hardware stores and doing light work with it. Obviously, if I got to do anything real heavy, I'm probably going to take my Super Duty. But and these would end up shades of black from handprints anyways, so it didn't seem like it was worth it to me. So I put the black ones on it, and then I bought and replaced all of the push pins with it because they were from '89 and most of them broke on the way out. I ordered this molding new, but it's got clips to hold it on pre-installed, and none of them lined up. So luckily this one's in not horrible shape, and it's not worth the extra effort to me right now to try to disassemble that molding and make it work. So I'm just going to rock the deal. That's the good part about it being an F-150 versus some of my cars that are less popular. They actually make stuff for these. The downside is most of them are still not made to OEM tolerances. Fortunately, there's a lot of junk parts being made in the industry. It's unfortunately a factor of life. It's nice if there's something available. It'd be nice if they actually worked. Woo! That was entirely harder than it should have been. Now my new push pin's already messed up. That's great. Trying to find the correct screw. This, I don't know if that's the correct screw, but that's the screw we're going to use. Because the other option is big and rusty, so we're going to try this. Worked like a champ. At least that one's stainless steel, so it won't look sparred. Right. I got a new adjuster on window crank, but oh, it's right, the screws on. Okay, great. And the screws right here for it, so we're good. Now I just have to figure out where, let's say about there. It's always hard to figure out where you want to put the window crank on these. For me, I have long legs, so you typically are going to have this be in your way one time or the other, either a window up or window down. So I think this thing has graduated into nice weather driving for the majority. So I'm going to pick window down to have it out of my way. So you ever wonder if cars don't want to be rescued? Was trying to get this thing finished up and went to fire it up, take it around the block. Mechanically, I haven't done a whole lot to it in a while. It's been good, other than a power steering leak, and I put some stop leak in it, and you know it was always just a slow leak, so it wasn't a real big thing. And I went to pull it out, and I look underneath it, and it's puking its oil. It's puking its guts out. I went and got a new one. The oil pressure sensor has decided to completely give up the ghost. I guess it's good that it did it in the driveway, in the garage. I mean, it made a hell of a mess that I have to clean up. But it's like, I'm trying to put you back on the road. I'm trying to do good by you. And it doesn't want to play ball, apparently. So today's going real great. I feel amazing. No, I feel like death. Anyways, but I got this part. Hopefully I can find my oil pressure sensor socket, and we're gonna swap this out. We're gonna try once more. I got a couple hours till it starts. I still need to clean the thing a little bit. It's a good thing about patina is I don't have to clean it too much. But yeah, today's going great. Okay, let's see if we can. All right, got that changed. Luckily on these, it's not terribly hard to get to. I can't really see it too well, but it's down in there. Long story short, it is not puking oil on the floor anymore. So that was just kind of an inconvenience, and now I have a mess to clean up. But at least now it doesn't leak. All right, we made it. There's a bunch of stuff on the list we still got to do, but we made it. We're made it to the show. Got out of here. Ain't looking too bad for an old work truck. Had a pretty good show in here. People still coming in. All kinds of stuff. I love the show because it's got, you know, I got a Challenger slammed on air. I got an all original rusty GTO. Actually, this is a fellow YouTuber's. I don't want to mispronounce his channel. Carrie, you need to put a sticker on your car. It's Mechanical Advantage, I believe is the right. I'm sure I'll put it in the description, but it's a cool car. I got some nice little truck for truck guys. This guy's had this one a real long time. Real nice interior in it. And we've even got some old school. We got some big wheels. We got a little Malibu dragger. And we got a Mercedes and an H2. You know, all kinds of stuff. All right. We got the collective. We got some Lolos. A whole chunk of pumps and batteries. It's funny how the same car, G-body, can be a drag car or a show car. Here we go. Cool little bump side. It's a FE motor. That's good. Had to look. Got a little spotlight. Got some wheels on it. I like the interior. The interior is nice in this thing. Got some bumps. Pretty cool. What year is this thing? It's a 74. Pretty cool.